This
anybody.
conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, so we got Charles, Fran, Rusty, Ron, myself, a lawyer, Rodney, and Jim Morris. Lawyer. Yeah, let's do a pledge. We'll do a pledge tonight. We've got a flag on the let's see what we can do here. There we go, flag. We might just see the back of Rodney. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'm gonna spin around the room so you can see everybody. There's Rodney. Say hi. How much cord I got here. We get Nate per. There's Nate, the lawyer.
The lawyer sounds intimidating.
Well, it might be like trustee.
I'm gonna do the prayer.
Yes, we will. Well, Lord, as we gather this day to do the important business for the people of the village of Owego, grant us wisdom, compassion, and understanding. Amen. Mr. Clerk, like
Mr. Mayor, I would like us to have a moment of silence for the passing of Don Warner, ex-legal fireman at Fire Chief, for using.
So, first item on the agenda, pretty short, it's public comment.
You want me to go here, Mike?
Yeah, here.
Mr. Mayor, sorry.
Let me try to mute myself too, so I don't get feedback.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and board. Wanted to brief the board real quickly on a couple items. First being a status on the fireman's fountain as we bring the project to conclusion. We hope to have water on at the fountain either tomorrow or Wednesday, hopefully tomorrow. We were having an issue when we filled the fountain where it appeared that there was water leaking from the fountain pool. We've done some testing and consulted some engineers, and we're attributing a brief water residue on the stamped concrete to what we're calling the bathtub effect. So there's a seam in the fountain pool and the stamped concrete where they butt up against each other that's covered by rubber stone. So water gets down in there. And then when we fill the pool with 1,000 gallons of water, that's 8,000 pounds. So the fountain settles a little bit and pushes that water out. So how we affirm that is we put tracing dye in the pool, as well as we've monitored the water level in the pool. And both indications are that this quote unquote bathtub theory, if you can think of something going in a bathtub and pushing water out, that's what the brief water leak, or not water leak, but water residue is. So all systems go, hopefully, like I said, Tuesday or Wednesday. They had to reseal the pool because the initial seal did not bond last fall, which they've done. We needed to wait 12 days for that to properly bond, and the 12th day will be tomorrow. So that's the latest on the fountain. The bricks in the front walkway are now full, so we are transitioning to the south walkway towards the courthouse. So any additional brick purchases will need to be put there. And with that, I think we can officially say the project is complete. And the hose team will continue the maintenance. You probably noticed that Charlie Monroe's been down there with the mulching and trimming and things of that nature. And does anybody have any questions on the fountain or where we stand?
Any questions for Pat on the fountain? Everybody's shaking their head no, Pat.
Yeah, provocation.
Okay. The next item I wanted to briefly discuss was the 2020 Central New York Firemen's Convention scheduled for July. You all have approved all the permits and whatnot for the convention. We've been in weekly conversations with Tioga County. And the best answer we can get at this point is only 10 or less people are allowed. And that's all we can tell you. So Wednesday's the next fire board meeting. We've been in consultation with the Central New York Firemen's Association. If nothing changes between now and Wednesday, our recommendation to the fire board is going to be to postpone the convention until 2021. Onondaga County was slated to host the 2021 convention for Central, and they've graciously agreed to allow us to host it. So that is the game plan for the convention. And we'll revisit all the permits for the fireworks and parade and all that stuff for 2021. We anticipate we're just going to do the same thing the second weekend in July, all the same events, as long as all the participants, can sign up. So that's the latest on the Central Firemen's Convention. Any questions there?
Any questions over here?
And Mr. Mayor, we'll just, I don't know if we need to redo all the permits or if we can just amend them or what we need to do. But as we make a final decision on Wednesday, we'll revisit those issues with the board, if that's okay with you all.
Yeah, that's good.
And then the final item I wanted to discuss tonight was our steamer project. If you recall, in January, we provided the board with an initial feeler for the steamer project, our 1866 Amos-Keg steam fire pumper that's owned by the members of the fire department, as well as the steamer house that we're working to put on North Avenue next to Owego Fire Station number 2. An update on the steamer restoration. We've received some grant money to fund that. We've sent out an RFP to a couple conservation firms that do that work. So that process is in the works. We're hearing back that some of the estimates for that restoration are a little higher than anticipated. So that would draw out the project. But as far as the restoration, that seems to be on track. Specific to the board's interest, we had mentioned and talked about and met about a land swap with Mr. Lounsbury, who from Applied Technology, who owns the old Lloyd's Barbershop right next to Station 2. Mr. Mayor's been copied on some correspondence. Steve has presented a proposal. Through working with the mayor and the county, we were provided direction, I believe, through the village attorney, which indicates a few items that needed to happen in order for the land swap to take place. One being a survey of the parcels. We've reached out to Williams and Edsel, who are working that process and who will complete that hopefully in the next week or so. Another action item, was an appraisal of both parcels of property. We've worked with Roger Kachuk of First Tioga Realty, and he is going to do, I forget the name of it, basically a broker's appraisal of both pieces to make sure the value of the parcels is comparable, which he believes they are. And then the county was going to get back with us to verify that such a land swap would not impact the DRI funding, which they don't anticipate, but they were gonna get a formal okay from the state, which I have not heard back on. I believe that captures, and then if all that was kosher with the board and the village attorney, I believe the final step after board approval would be a simple contract that was signed between the village of Owego and Mr. Lounsbury to transfer the property. Does that sound accurate, Mr. Village Attorney? Mr. Van Wy?
Hang on, we're muted.
Yeah, so that tracks, I think. The only other pieces of it, and this is more from Mr. Lounsbury's concern than anything else, is I think he's planning on using it as an egress point to that road, which would mean the DOT would need to approve driveway cuts that need to be done. And so that if they don't allow him to put whatever truck traffic he's looking to go through there, he might not want to actually follow through on it. Or, I mean, or maybe he would anyway. No big deal.
I think for clarification, the reason why he wants the Central Ave piece of property, so his access would now be on Central Ave, and that would negate the North Ave access. So I don't think the state DOT would need to get involved with the Central Ave access, correct?
No, that's our village road, so that makes it easier.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then that should be fine. The only other piece of it, again, for Mr. Lounsbury, would be whether or not the village planning board would need to go through a site plan review, you know, just to make sure that what his plan actually is, you know, approved. But that's more of a, I mean, not to take away from the planning board, it's definitely a thing that would need to happen. I don't see any issue with that.
Okay, I'll make sure he's aware of that. We did submit, for the steamer house piece, we did submit to Jeff, who in turn, I believe, submitted it to the appropriate planning boards and whatnot for the North Ave vision. And he seemed to indicate everything was kosher.
I guess I hope we can get a better answer from the state as far as the DRI goes. I know I've reached out to our contact there and got kind of a answer, but not a direct answer that everything is going to be good and that we're actually going to be able to go forward with all this project. So it'd be a shame to, you know, put that in a nice thing there and not put a nice park next to it.
So the other thing we wanted to visit just briefly, and I haven't hashed out the details, we'd be interested in entering into some sort of license agreement as the host team with the village to outline responsibilities, liabilities, and everything associated with the building if and when it comes to pass. So we'll be in touch on that piece of it as we work through these other issues. And is that the appropriate terminology, Mr. Van Wy, a license agreement?
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to depend on, that's probably what we would generally call it, but it doesn't matter what you call the thing, it matters what the thing does. And if the idea is for you to have some access and maintenance obligations or responsibilities for this piece of property in the building, you know, and then you're providing the vehicle itself, I think, for the village to display. So there's
Exactly. Yep. That's exactly what we're interested in. Yes, sir. And then the final piece is we're kicking off formally the project tomorrow with a press conference at the fire station to, number one, highlight the grant funding that's been received. Number two, kick off our fundraising efforts to fundraise for both the steamer restoration and the steamer house. And then, you know, kind of get the public involved in the project so they're aware. We've got updates on our website that captures everything. So we would invite the board to attend at your availability, as long as it's less than 10 people.
What time is that?
10 o'clock. And this is in concert with firehouse subs being at the fire station as well as a fundraiser.
I just drove by, coming here, it was packed, so that's a good thing.
And that's all I got. Anybody, any questions for the hose team on the steamer house project?
Everybody's shaking their head no again. Pat, no.
Okay, so I'll follow up with, try and follow up on the DRI thing to see if we can get a formal, and I'll let Steve know about the possible site plan review for access.
Yeah, my only fear with DRI is we don't have a formal contract with the state yet, or we have the grant award. We don't have the legal contract between us and them. That would be in works, and then the COVID-19 thing happened, and it'd still be in works, but kind of at a slow pace. I'm just hoping stuff doesn't happen at a state level when it gets around.
Well, and just so everybody's aware, we're raising for our piece of this project, the hose team will raise all the money, no taxpayer dollars, just like the fountain project. So we don't want or need any DRI money at this point, just to make that clear.
No, we're just making it nice to have, be a nice piece on North Avenue combination.
Okay, thank you for your time.
All right. Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
All right. Any other public? I guess there's no public comment. Not on the agenda. If you forgot it, it's department head reports. So we'll start with Jimmy because he's here. Then we'll do Rod on because he's the only two departments we got tonight.
So Rusty did touch on the passing of Don Warner, he's past fire chief and squad captain. Still waiting to hear from the family on what their plans are. Send their sincere condolences to the family. May was a very, very busy month for OFD. 26 calls in total. 17 of those calls came in 1 week's period. Anywhere from track trailer rollovers, MVAs, structure fires. It was a busy month, so.
On top of the birthday parades.
On top of the different, it was next on the list.
I love his job with that.
So, yes, a lot of birthday parades. We did a military send off on Sunday. A young gentleman signed up to go into the Marines, so they were very happy with that. Almost finished with the budget. Should have it to you the next day or so. Sorry, just
No, that was one of my things.
COVID.
Do you remember the name of the person who signed off with the Marines?
I don't off the top of my head.
Yeah, it was in the pen saver. Original?
Yes.
Yeah.
Other than that, any update on the clock tower repairs? I haven't heard any.
No, I need to go check on that. I asked him once, he was gonna get with Delta. And this is done.
We're supposed to have a call tomorrow morning at 10 with Stafford and hopefully Jeff Souls.
Yes.
So,
About other things, but we'll bring up the clock tower thing too.
Last time we had that heavy rain, we had quite a bit of water in the station. So much water that I opened the bay doors and water came out. So
Yeah, I'm gonna get something done there.
it's getting bad.
Long may have a bell out on the first floor.
Yeah. Yeah, the tower won't come with the bell mic.
That's a big bell.
Yep, that is a big bell. Come for the floor.
Other than that, we had some apparatus repair done. That's it, other than a couple new members that I passed along to Rusty.
Okay.
Shall we do those now? Mayor?
Sure. I don't know if I should like spin the camera around or what.
They like seeing you.
Rusty's never in a camera. I should put him on.
Facial recognition. Mr. Mayor, I propose for membership in the Waco Fire Department, Jeffrey Winchell and company number 4s. Move that we accept Mr. Winchell.
In relation to,
It is Officer Winchell. He's been in and out a couple times.
Oh. Yeah, he's related.
yeah, relation there.
Who seconded it?
I'll second that.
It's like, okay, but-
So that was out of it.
So let's vote on Jeff.
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna ask Jim. Ron? Yes. Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Myself, yes.
Ron?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to propose for membership in Company 40 with the Fire Department, Janice Johnson. Waits Road in Owego, wife of Eric Johnson, one-time firefighter.
I'll second.
Okay, second to Fran. Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Yes.
And yes for me.
We don't have no certificates.
That's sweet.
Just got,
Next
just
meeting.
got,
Perfect.
That's all I have.
send those down.
That I can remember up.
Ron? Four. Hey, I turned up the computer so everybody can hear you.
Like you can't hear me. Needless to say, the call volume has gone up since things have eased up a little bit. I do want the area to know that there is a new drug floating around out there in Owego. It's called Christmas Tree. It is not pleasant. It was discovered in an oddball way, but was discovered. So I have tried to inform other areas of it being around, so hopefully we can all deal with it the same. We've been able so far to be able to take the ambulances in and out as repaired, done in between runs, and have been okay there. There's been a few times where a third ambulance would have been helpful, but que sera. Also, there's going to be a new training SOG that's going to be going, coming your way after our Wednesday night meeting, after we approve it with the members of us, and we'll bring that forward to you next time. Also, I haven't heard anything back on the issues that I brought forth last time, which was the sending out for bid, the finances that were supposed to be deposited into our accounts. I haven't seen anything or heard anything on any of that yet. Where are we at on those?
Here we go. Basically, as far as the setting up the bid, we're just waiting to do the budget, see how things shake out as far as whether or not we get forwarded or not. The financing or the amount of money of, so are you looking for that one where we do the resolution where some of the fire companies that we're, what do they call it, 2% money or?
There's a contract money for the 2% money.
This is the,
Contract money.
the service that we do for tow vehicles, isn't that for the ambulances?
It is, yeah.
I mean, that money should go to the emergency fund.
Fire and ambulance.
Well-
Right now, they contract, we gotta get the contract.
Well, everybody else has had their used theirs, but we haven't received ours yet. That's our only concern there. Hopefully, the next meeting I should be able to bring have another new member coming our way. It is rather complicated at this time. I've had a couple people come interested. Normally, our policy is having them sign that form and do a ride along to see if it's something that they want to do. But needless to say, with the COVID issue, I don't want to have any extra people in the ambulance for that purpose. So that's kind of put some of that on the back burner. And I didn't know, did you send anything to the training about the training that we were going to be not having at the county?
Well, no, we need to do that. So. Yeah, I'll email emergency management there and see if they can have a training. Or you said they're sending everybody to Broome County now?
That's what it is at this point, because Tioga, we're the first to go as EMS, even though they're the first ones to squawk when they need us. So kind of a catch-22.
Yeah.
But and I'm still waiting. I talked to Jim this morning or afternoon, whatever it was. He said that he should be able to get back with me this next week on about the washer and dryer placement over there. The sooner the better, only because, right now we've had more cases of confirmed COVID that we've had to go into, and it would be handy to have that to wash our stuff and get it sterilized. It has been a cumbersome issue for EMS to go to the nursing homes. They're doing an excellent job down here of prevention, but at the same time, the delay of getting us into there is tough, because we want to get in there and get, helping these people that are in really bad shape, but it's not their fault. It's this COVID nonsense. If we come in with gloves, we got to change into their gloves. We got to put on their gowns. We got to everything else before we can even get to these people. But they have done an excellent job of making sure that happens, because we actually got passed the other day, and the guy started screaming at us to go back because the woman never gave us a gown. So we had to go back and get the gown on before we could get to the patient. But as far as I'm concerned, that was excellent, only because they're protecting all the people in there. So, but it is a delay, a strong delay, but worth it, I guess, in the end. But they've done a good job. So kudos to what?
So talking to the police department, they had the kind of same comments that it's quite the process to get in there, but it's good though, because they're protecting the people.
Well, they can do what they got to do. I mean, I'll tell you, the gowns are not friendly to us people with hot flashes. It's like an instant hot flash being wrapped up in plastic. Thank you very much. But that's okay. It's worth it.
Yeah, as long as it works.
But I mean, I don't have anything else. Everything's going well as long as we can figure out what the monies are doing.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out.
I have a question for Robin.
Okay, Charlie.
Robin, can you hear me? Robin?
I can hear you.
Okay, out of curiosity, that new drug that you spoke about, what are the adverse effects of it, and what is the targeted demographic?
The effects of it are the person themselves feel like they're having an anxiety attack, but they're not having an anxiety attack. Pupils are dilated to the hilt. That was my dead giveaway. And the thing of it was this particular person had no idea that his product had been laced with the meth. So it's basically marijuana that's being laced with meth. So that's why they call it Christmas tree, because it looks like little, what I want to say, pine cones with powder on it. So pretty much the demographics of it, I don't know where it's all at this point, but it's just a new one that got presented to us this weekend. But there was nothing really threatening at this point. It was just very disorienting to the person. The fight between marijuana being a kind of like a depressant, and then you add meth, which is a stimulant, really was making them going kind of in and out of knowing what was going on. But it was an interesting thing to try to figure out what was going on, and it wasn't until an actual car search that we actually figured out what was the situation.
All right, thank you.
That's what we have. You're welcome.
Anything else, anything for Rob?
Well, I have a question. I don't think we've ever clarified who is supposed to put those ambulances that are no longer in service up for auction. Who's responsible to do that?
We are supposed to be making a list. And then I assume either the clerk's office would list them as surplus auction, right?
Usually Jeff,
Oh, okay, DPW.
yeah. It's kind of right here. How many we got?
Tamara, a list would be good because the village board should have a resolution declaring whatever
Yes.
stuff is surplus. And so the list would just be a motion to declare everything shown on the list as surplus.
Right.
And that same resolution, if there's any confusion about who should be doing it, you can also direct somebody to do that.
Okay.
Those are assets that are just sitting there that could be going towards that ambulance repair.
We should rule them car law.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Drug care. Anything else? Type stuff?
Please.
Okay.
Which you can't.
Are you here, Rusty?
Yeah.
Are you gonna love it? Move that we have an executive session for police disciplinary and for attorney-client.
Raise your hand.
I'd like to know if you could have the executive session at the end of the meeting in case I can come over for that portion.
We can do that.
You bet.
Okay, thank you.
Can't guarantee the candy will still be here.
So that is my motion.
Who said it?
So is that legal? Yeah, let's vote on that. Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Are you coming over too?
Yeah, I'll come over.
All right. Somehow we can figure out how to do it through this, but I'm not really sure how, so.
That's all for the police. Well, the Chief did get to you with his budget information, but if he did not, he will,
No, but we're gonna,
within the next day or so.
so since we're on the department head topic, and the budget's coming up, it's Cindy to, I don't know if she's sending out around, we're gonna try and get the stuff as far as from the department heads, all the budget information back to her by close of business Thursday. So she can do what she has to do on Friday. And we'll get the spreadsheets made and everything. So, also not on the agenda, we have to schedule the budget workshop, which is where we go through the budget, each department and the budget they submitted and the, all that kind of stuff. And the budget, there's a public hearing that has to happen. So I don't know the timing of all that. I was thinking next Monday for the budget workshop. I don't know if people are busy.
Good with me.
Yes, okay with me.
Good with you.
Calendar.
Yeah, I figured.
Monday, June 8th.
I figured Mondays because it's, most of them don't have much plans.
These are also, it's like it's still March. Mr.
Is that
Mayor,
good with you, Laura? Okay.
Mr. Mayor, move that we have a village board meeting, workshop for the budget on Monday, June 8th, 7 p.m.
I'll second that.
So we'll take a vote on that. Is there a budget workshop? June 8th.
What time? 7?
7 o'clock. And we'll do it, we have to do it a similar way. We'll broadcast it through the Board Meeting in case, it's a public meeting and you want to join or you guys will stay home, that's fine. Robert?
Yes.
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
And yes. We'll have a meeting next week.
I'll be right here.
We'll be right here. See?
Rodney, do you remember how many days we have to have that budget prepared ahead of time before we can have the public hearing? Whether it was 2 weeks or what that was? We were supposed to have it at the clerk's office for people to be able to come in that number of days before the public hearing. You don't remember?
It's not true. I'm not sure.
Okay. Fine.
But if you have, let you know before.
You don't have to set that public hearing as a workshop too.
Yeah.
We need to.
Might be able to do a public hearing at the next board meeting.
I'm fairly certain from the past that we cannot have a public hearing within 7 days of thing. I'm pretty sure it's 10 or 14. I don't remember.
Needs search for this book, so.
Let's see if I can find the answer to Rusty's question.
It's what the lawyer does.
Right.
Well, you gotta vote.
Look stuff up. Keeps us legal.
Someone knew your name on the machine earlier.
Oh, yeah. Didn't even get-
Yeah, you haven't made your name. That's good.
All right. Maybe there's anything else about the budget? Get everything inputted and get everything to you guys so we can go through it. Gotta get everybody to try.
Hold on.
Hey, Laura, you're on twice somehow.
She's been hacked.
So wait here.
Thought my computer was blowing.
No, it's just Laura was talking to herself.
She's trying to be in two places at one time.
Hey, is that better, guys?
Hey, is Jim Moore?
Much better. Yeah, Jim Morris is here, Robin.
Jim, was any of that water leaking on that fire truck in that back bay? It looked like it was.
Whereabouts?
The back bay.
Which part?
The one that's in the bay. The steamer in the back of the bay. It looked like there was water that had come down on that.
Oh, water coming every place.
Shouldn't that be covered with charges?
It's inside.
Yeah, well, we've got, stretchers sitting back there because we have no home for the stretchers and all that back there with water too. But I thought I saw water on that steamer and it concerned me for the rust,
Tarps.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe we could cover it.
Our chief is in charge of the station. Take care.
All right, so we don't have anything else department headwise. Let's move on the agenda. Payment of bills. Everybody, payment of bills. Anybody have any questions about the payment of bills? Hey, Rusty?
As usual, Mr. Mayor, you looked them over and you are satisfied.
Yes.
Will we pay the bills?
I looked over the payment and I'd like to motion to pay the bills as presented.
Rusty did, we get the second.
You got the second somewhere.
I'll second.
Okay. Anybody have any discussion or questions about the bills? Those are bills. Rob?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
And yes. All right. Board meeting minutes from May 18th. Everybody get a copy and look through it. Anybody have any corrections?
Move that we accept the minutes.
second.
Ron,
Yes.
Frank, Charles,
Yes.
Rusty.
Stay.
I vote
Laura?
yes. Yes.
Yes.
And it's in.
He lived there.
He lived through it. He didn't.
So you guys did pretty late last night.
Next item is communications. I don't have a ton of communications, but just watching Governor Cuomo's daily briefing to see what phase we're in and opening up and all that kind of stuff. Glad to see a lot of village shops are opening up. Anything else on the communication kind of stuff? Alright. Next item is trustee reports. Let's see if we go around here. We'll start with Rusty. Just throw them off.
No report.
Ron,
I've got nothing.
Brian?
Yes, I would like to, it was our board meeting a month ago. We talked about repair of the ambulance. And I had put some information together at that time and with being online and all that stuff. So I'll give, Brian, I'll give you a copy, but I'll read what I had put together last time in an email. That
Okay, try again.
okay, the gross total of services that was for ambulance was $623,449.92. And after adjustments by the insurance companies, et cetera, the billable amount was $357,375.64. Now, as of that time, and as of last meeting, the amount that we had actually received from MedX was $105,742.32. So in other words, we still have back receivables of $234,408. Now, I mean, that, I realize that part of that cause is from persons that have received, the individuals that have received the payment from the their insurance and that have not passed it on to the village. But there, I mean, we can't go over individual ones because we can't name people's names, but there are still quite a few that nothing has been settled on. And I think we need to do something about pushing to get that money for the village. I mean, we could repair 2 ambulances for $234,000. MedX has got to, I don't think they're serving us properly.
I don't know that it's necessarily medics, it's just the function of medical billing, insurance companies.
Well, the thing is, I mean, we all have insurance bills. The insurance companies pay for. And about any time to go to the doctor, the insurance company doesn't ever send me a check. They send it directly to the doctor. And I see no reason why it can't be the same for the ambulance service.
We're doing very few of those lately since everything got, since we're more of a established biller now. Like in the latest
We're
report,
still 234,000 behind.
just,
That has not been sent to us.
we can ask medics.
That was due, I mean, as of February.
Rusty?
Yeah.
I don't know this, but I'm going to guess that when they 357 billable, so they bill somebody $1,000, that insurance company doesn't pay that $1,000, that insurance
No,
company pays
so the full
400,
amount,
or the Medicare doesn't pay $1,000, they pay 174. So that billable, I would assume most of that is because those two payers don't pay nearly as much as they are billed.
no, that's after the deductible. Okay, the total is 623,449 of what's been charged. So after the deductions from the insurance companies and, adjustments, the 357,375 is what is billable to us.
Laura.
I mean, I can, we don't, like I said, we can't get into individual numbers. I mean, everybody can get a copy of this. It spells it right out very clearly.
Yeah, it's,
I mean, something has to be done to get that changed so that the billing goes directly, the payments go directly to the village instead of the individuals. Because like I said, I'm sure their doctors get the payments directly.
yeah,
I mean, this is major insurance companies like United Healthcare, Blue Cross, Blue Shield. I mean, I don't want to name a name, but one of the other people here told me they have Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and the check went to them instead of the village. There's no, it
ambulance,
shouldn't be that way.
ambulance billing is weird, as far as where the check goes. I'm not in the business of medical billing. I know ambulance sometimes is treated differently, but regular.
Well, when we're only getting a third of the money that is due to us, something is not right.
I know we did put out an RFP for billing services, only, I don't respond.
Maybe there was a second one, but that sounds right. I mean, that's. It's not even relevant.
Yeah.
If it wasn't.
It was.
Well, I don't know what we can do with, as far as getting on medics to get this rectified.
Well, we can
I
ask
mean,
them to
if we're only
explain,
getting a third of what we're
we can
supposed
ask
to
them
get.
to explain the numbers. What's typical, why, we ask them those questions, why are we only getting a third of the money? See what they say. 'Cause, I mean, none of us are medical billers.
Well, are you the one that's gonna deal with medics, or you want
Yeah, I'll ask.
the captain too?
I'll ask her. The woman from medics there to join one of our meetings and explain our
Yeah,
Billing options.
billing summary, I guess, finances.
I mean, it seems like a simple enough question to me. I mean, we should go,
figures are clear as a bell.
less instead of including through the person.
They'll have more detailed information. I know the last reports we got, I searched that detailed spreadsheet. You can search by words, whether it's a PDF. I
Yeah.
only found 3 that were in that area you're talking about.
I know a lot of people don't set out to intentionally commit fraud, but when you're faced with a situation that we all been faced with, unemployment and whatnot, you see a check in the mail and has your name on it.
Yeah.
There's a choice between giving it to Group A or keeping it for yourself and taking care of your own family. That's a no-brainer.
I've had a couple people confused too that call me because they're just confused because the village's bill, looks like it comes from the village, but then the address that you send it to is where the medics is. So so we get a little confused. I've had a few people call me and ask me if that was legit. So maybe someone could do it.
Yeah.
But
I
contact
mean,
them.
we need money to maintain our equipment.
We can contact them and get them to do a presentation for us on, how they're doing for us.
Yeah.
Because we're paying
Okay,
them,
that would be good if they come and explain it to the board.
we're paying them to collect money for us, so.
Right.
Let's see why they can't give us a presentation on what they're providing us.
Okay. Well, that's all on that I had to say about the EMS. We had a brief meeting earlier with the cemetery committee, and there's a lot of things that we need to get together with Jeff on to take care of some of the projects that need to be done in the cemetery. And we will do a review for the board of that final report from the landscape architect that did come through. Gonna look it over. The cemetery committee would also like to request the board, if possible, to set up a time when board can go up to the cemetery. It could be any day of the week or weekend or whatever, to actually show the board what the needs are in certain areas. Is there any way we could set up a date?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
You can't go as a full board.
Oh, true.
Well, not to vote on anything. Just
Otherwise, we have to publicize.
You can't go there. 2 or 3 guys.
So we could go to groups, I suppose.
Okay,
We could set up a couple of days and then a couple people could go each time. Or could be hours apart on the same day or whatever.
yeah, that's probably a good idea, to do it on the same day. Because it probably wouldn't take any more than an hour of the board's time to look at some of the things.
Yeah, if we all get together, then it's a meeting, especially if we're talking about things we should do as a
Yeah.
board or.
Yeah, well, once the board understands what the needs are, then I could easily make a report to the village board and ask for,
Right.
vote on different issues.
Could we use that virtual tour that Peter Gordon sent out back in May to kind of see stuff without actually going there? Because if we can't go as a full board, would that be an option?
Well, okay. We want everybody to see the condition of like the cottage, the caretaker's cottage.
Right, I understand.
And go in and take, well, that's not part of the virtual tour. I mean, that virtual tour is different personalities that are served at the cemetery. We want to talk about, we'd like to show the board the needs of the Paupers area in the cemetery and some ideas on what we might do.
Yeah, I personally find it dangerous to even get up there. Because if there's a car coming the other way, it's just dangerous. And I find that to be problematic. So I understand some of the concerns.
Yeah, that virtual tour is pretty cool. It's not really like a tour, it's more like a map with, the different grave sites on there, and then you click on it and learn about the people. It's kind of neat.
If you kept the site visit to know nothing about discussions as to what to do, purely to observe and gather factual information. I think that the OML opinions indicate that's not really a public meeting that would have to comply with the open meetings law requirements. Whereas you have to record it, you have to have minutes taken, but the problem is once you get a group of trustees together, it's hard to make it so you don't talk public business. The whole point of the site visit is to see
the condition
the
of
condition
different
of
areas.
everything, and you'll
Yeah.
probably have a discussion about it. But I mean, there's theoretically we can do it, it's just really not.
Maybe we should set up 2 different times. And then Because how many of us could go at a time?
As long as you don't have a pump, so.
So 3, so split up into 2 groups.
Hey, Ron and Laura, would you guys be interested in going with me and maybe Peter Gordon or someone, well, someone else take us up there? Maybe
Oh, yeah.
Fran could take the mayor and Charles.
Yeah.
I don't know that that'd go in.
Or Peter can come too, or whatever.
I'm just, but Fran can't take us if it would
Right.
be Peter or somebody else.
Yeah,
Ed? Divided into 3 groups. Then
And we could just go and help the wolves.
We'll figure out so we see the stuff and don't have a forum. Is there any day that works good for people? I don't have much going on.
Before noon, I'm open pretty much any day.
I did read the extended report, like 58 pages or whatever. I did read that. It is labeled, and if we can independently go up and check out the things that are in it in
Sure.
person. I have been up there already looking at those suggestions. And so
Or I guess we could schedule,
I didn't get into the caretaker's house or the mortuary or whatever, but
I guess we could each, if we want to do that, go contact Peter Gordon. I know I saw him before the meeting tonight. He said, you know, he's basically free, whatever, to give any of us a little tour, or anybody in the public, even a tour of the cemetery.
Well, Fran, if we set up a couple groups, how much of the cemetery committee would want to come along with a group? Is Peter Gordon somebody that would want to do that?
Oh, yeah, Peter would.
Would 2 or 3 or 4 of them want to do it?
Yeah, probably 3 or 4, yeah.
It just means trying to find the time to put all that group together.
Yeah. Well, everybody's agenda is pretty free right now since there's no activities.
As long as it's not during the day, during the week, I'm good, because I'm just gonna watch the kids.
Yeah. Well, how would Sunday afternoon be?
Sunday's work for me.
It's fine with me.
Let's see. I don't, is the 14th any good or
It's fine with me.
21st?
Flag Day, we do it for Flag Day. 21st is on Father's Day.
I really don't.
Yeah, whatever day, Sunday.
Okay, so they do one group at 1 o'clock and one at 3 o'clock.
Sure.
All the same, I think we go at the same time. Go
Divide,
Different ways.
Yeah.
take a different.
All right, well,
You go.
okay, well, how about if I have
What day is it?
I was gonna say, in the
14th, right?
June
in the
14th?
existing world of COVID-19, I'm like reluctant to go anywhere in public.
Well, I mean, this is outside and it's.
Take your mask.
Pretty small.
Bubble boy.
Okay, well,
You don't have to go to this.
yeah,
No, it's
yeah,
optional.
yeah, okay. So what I'll do is I'll have Peter contact everybody, or Peter or John, John's the president, see who can go, which times on June 14th.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you, that's all.
Let's see, we'll backtrack. Laura, got anything?
the OHPC is gonna meet or have a meeting, whatever, Thursday, the 4th at 7 PM. There's like one application for replacement of a mansard roof. They should have no problems.
Are they doing an online thing?
I believe they will want you to do this online form for them.
Okay,
I
can do
believe
that.
they expect that, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So I know Thursday to be on. It's fine. Their link will stay the same as it was.
Okay, yeah, I think you can put it there.
Okay. That it? Charles? Good. Okay, next thing is mayor's report. I do a fun report this stuff. Been a busy couple of weeks, a lot of meetings. Just Just trying to keep all of our projects moving, as far as all our DPW building and the DRI and wastewater treatment plant, fielding some complaints from people.
Have we put the bid for project manager on hold or?
For DRI, so it's ready to go out. We can talk about that. We haven't sent it out because we don't have that official contract from the state that says we're actually going to get the money. So we have the award, but then there's an actual legal contract from the state that spells out exactly how we get the money. We don't have that yet.
Oh, they haven't signed us.
No. So that's why we haven't sent the RFP out to get an architect to start working on those projects yet.
Well, one project is a,
One project is approved, yeah.
how are we gonna move ahead? We just gonna handle that on our own?
Well, they will backdate, supposedly. As long as everything goes through, they will backdate and reimburse us back to wherever
So
they
we need to get that going.
Every day it's costing us more money even.
Right.
Yeah.
Or we can send out the RFP and hope that, put a contingency on there that we're not gonna award a contract until we get a contract from the Department of State saying we're getting the money.
If you're
Can we
looking
do
to,
that?
if you're looking to actually start work on a project, which, fire station, that's obviously something you'd like to move on that sooner than later. Without a contract from the state that's signed, you don't have any actual guarantee that you're gonna get the money. I mean, they keep telling us that we will, but it's also been, 6 months. So, it's kind of, if you want to take that risk and go out and award an RFP to an architect and have them specifically work on the roof project, just understand that. If you're out of pocket on this, you might have to end up paying for it, because the state might not pay.
We don't have anything set in stone or any way to get our money back yet from the state. So anything we can do, and we've been promised, and that we'll get our money back, we don't have any sort of, it's a risk at this point.
So do we have any, sorry, Rusty. Do we have any insurance that would pick up some of this cost because it seems to be an urgent need? I don't know if that is even covered in our policy or not.
It's a good question. We just went through those insurance policies. I don't know if we have any flood insurance, they don't really like.
I don't think it's.
Water leak insurance. That's something to check into though with our insurance man. Rusty?
I was gonna say something else, but we'll address that. This is casual, but I gotta tell you, every insurance policy I've ever had on a roof, et cetera, unless something comes in and damages that, that's your problem for you not maintaining the repair of your roof. So boy, it would be unusual if we get them.
It's not the same, but pipe or.
Hurricane or
No.
Yeah,
something.
but I'm just telling you that that's.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean.
$300.
It's like a huge storm escape.
Well, there's all this, the roof's in bad conditions.
True, right? Rusty?
And now the piece I was gonna say, it doesn't have to be done tonight, but soon, real soon, there's gonna be a time we're gonna have to say, we're gonna have to do something, I mean, real soon, that we have to do something to that roof, whether we get the DRI money or not.
Right.
Because we have to fix that roof and we just can't be putting that off.
Yeah.
So,
We were already there.
yeah, so we're already there, so yeah, we're gonna have to,
Scott will be coming over, put a padlock on the door.
Yeah,
so be prepared.
the roof is already leaking like crazy, so we're basically there.
So maybe back to, once again, maybe back to Julie again and tell her we have got to
Yeah.
move ahead on this roof. And
I need some guarantee.
I don't even know if I don't know whether we have to have that management and things that we are going to do through the RP. I don't know whether we have to have it for every single thing. Maybe we have to start this roof without that management. I don't know, but we probably need to get a hold of Julie again and whoever else and so we have to start on this.
Well,
Please
for
help us,
sure,
give us guidance.
We move it into the season where high winds and storms can come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I put an extra strange stress on it.
I'll push them hopefully for some more definite answers and hopefully a contract.
I'd like you to ask them if we could separate some of the projects out to prioritize them. So the fire station, the EMT stuff, and anything related to, public safety measures that are included in the project, to see if we can get that money separate maybe and moved ahead.
So the village can move forward in any order with the projects that it wants to do. The way the state is putting this together as a contract, though, is one contract to cover all seven projects.
Mhm.
And so as soon as the contract's signed, we can do whichever one you want to do first.
So one,
It's not an issue with, there's some holdup on one aspect of a thing versus another. It's just the state, for whatever reason, is dragging its feet on sending a contract that covers all of the projects.
the one advantage of one contract versus 7 contracts is paperwork from the clerk's office. They have to report to the state on each contract. So the sub portions of the contract are easier to report on than 7 whole contracts. And B, there is an opportunity if it's one contract to, I don't want to say move the money around, but if you have leftover money
Reallocate.
from one project, you may be able to use it for something else a little bit easier.
Okay. What about, the state seemed to freeze all the money for everything except for the chips and the EWR, right?
Yeah.
And some of our problems are the ambulance, that we don't have enough ambulances for the estimate of our population to how many ambulances we have. And then, the fire stations need work so that they can still function. And the police station needs some work and stuff. And their public safety measures, can we get in with some of this public safety money? That's the only money available from the state. Do that, because it's
Possibly.
public safety stuff and we're in need of it.
Possibly, we're gonna see what we can do. I know we do have a stand grant that the police are supposed to get. And again, it's in limbo in the state that it's approved, we got it, but it's just because somebody doesn't.
For hiring the officers.
No, this is we're supposed to get a new car.
This is one we already got. This is one we already supposedly got. We just haven't got the funds.
We're supposed to get SUV like a year ago. And because something happened at a state political level, we don't have a new SUV.
So to Laura's point, and I think that this is what she's trying to say about, is that if there is a way that something's going to happen, DRI funding, and obviously if DRI funding is either all or nothing, then that's one thing. But if DRI funding and all the funding in general comes down to, maybe we're gonna give you some of it, but we can't give you all of it. That's what she's talking about. We need to prioritize the ones that we want. If there's a way for us to do that, we need to get it.
Yeah, I would agree. Right now,
Yeah, let's do it.
the direction has been, yeah, it's all good, we're working on it. But, I mean, they've been working on it for 6 months, so.
Well, I think we need to nag.
It's just back to the thing that we said about talking to Julie, et cetera, et cetera. Can we want to move forward on that, and at least some little pieces of this, please help us and tell us that.
Hopefully,
We should.
now with phase 2, maybe back in the office, things will be faster. That's my complaint.
That's right, they haven't had full crew. No, they haven't.
Last thing is public comment. Nobody left on the public on here, so. We'll do our executive session.
So before that, once the executive session is over, of course, you have to come back into the regular open meetings.
And
Okay, we're back. 9:05, I gotta write that down.
Are we back?
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, move to establish public hearing for the 2021 village budget on Monday, the 15th of June at 7 p.m.
I second.
Okay, hold on, I don't write as fast as we're.
And I got 2-3 more pages to go with that.
Educating Laura.
All right, so we'll take a vote on that. Ron,
Yes.
Wilson, Moore, Fran,
Yes.
Charles, Rusty,
Yes,
Laura.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, move to adjourn.
I second.
9:06.
Third, fourth.
wow.
I love it when we squabble, darling.